Test, test. Hi, everyone. So if anyone's having any problems hearing me, please let me know in the live group chat. So today I'm here to guide you in gentle yoga, and then there'll be sound healing at the end during Shavasana. We did have a schedule change this week, so I'll be teaching Tuesdays and Thursdays 12 to 1. Tuesdays is gentle yoga and sound healing. Thursdays will be restorative yoga nidra and sound healing. So I like to come in a few minutes early before class starts, the same way that I usually handle that when we're in physical classes at the studio. So if there's anyone watching who has any questions, anything they'd like to share, any comments, feedback from previous classes, please feel free to message that in the live group chat. If you want to contact me directly, you can find me on Facebook, Veda, and I'm happy to message with you privately as well. So for today's class, for gentle yoga and sound healing, you'll want to find a comfortable place to practice in, one that you have enough area in, and also a steady foundation beneath you. So if you don't have a yoga mat, somewhere on a surface where you feel like you'll have steady footing when we will be doing some standing poses. And then a few yoga blankets or bath towels work great in place of yoga blankets if you don't have them. I have about 4 here. Typically it's 3 or 4 that we'll use for this type of class with me. And then for Shavasana, for the rest at the end, you can also use a face towel folded up for the eyes if you don't have an eye pillow. Excuse me. So we still have a few minutes. So if there's any questions, anything anyone would like to share, please let me know in the live chat. So before, our Tuesday's class with me was restorative, and that's shifted now to Thursday. So for now, our new temporary normal is Tuesdays 12 to 1 gentle yoga and sound healing. So if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. Find a comfortable place to practice in, one where you have enough room to move around in, a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't, just choose a surface that you feel safe standing on where you have footing, and then we will be doing seated poses as well. A few yoga blankets, if you don't have those. Bath towels work great. If you don't have an eye pillow for Shavasana and want one, you can always use a folded face towel instead. So this is a good time to check in with any of your distractions that you can put away. So turning off your cell phone ringer, turning off the TV, unless you're watching this on the TV and streaming it through there, then maybe not. So just check in with your distractions, make sure you have your water if you need that nearby. And if you like to use essential oils, use them now before class starts. You can spray your favorite room spray, grab anything else that you need to support yourself in your practice. We'll be starting in a few minutes. And again, I am watching the live group chat. So if anyone has any questions, feedback, comments, anything they'd like to share, please feel free to share there. And if you want to contact me privately, you can message me, find me on Facebook, Veda Spidal, or you can message me through Anahata. I'm glad you guys are here. So to those of you just joining, welcome, welcome. We're getting ready for gentle yoga and sound healing at noon. Make sure you have a safe, comfortable place to practice in. If you don't have a yoga mat, a surface where you have steady footing for some of the more standing poses that we'll be doing, and then yoga blankets or bath towels in place of yoga blankets if you don't have that. And if you want an eye pillow for Shavasana and don't have that, you can use a folded face towel instead, as I've done here. And taking care of anything else that you need to support yourself for your practice. So we have about another minute. Oh, Dawn, you're so welcome. It's my pleasure. I feel like I'm with you guys connected this way. So I'm imagining all of you guys sitting here practicing with me in this room. Alrighty, if you want to have any music on in the background, go ahead and set that up. For Shavasana, there will be sound healing. I'll be playing the bowls that are behind me, so just keep that in mind as you set yourself up for your practice. Hi everyone, my name is Veda Spidel, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you guys today with online streaming. Today we'll be doing gentle yoga with sound healing during Shavasana. So if you've just joined us, make sure you have a few props ready with you, a few yoga blankets. If you don't have those, that's fine. You can use a few bath towels in their place. For those of you that like to have an eye pillow for Shavasana for the rest at the end, and the same time we'll be doing sound healing, and you don't have an eye pillow, you can use a folded face towel instead. Make sure to turn off any distractions or put away any distractions that you possibly can, but it's okay if you can't get rid of all of them. Part of our practice is being able to focus in on ourselves, our breath, our practice, and the distractions tend to kind of blend into the background. And I want to say hello again to the Anahata Yoga community. I miss you guys so much. For those of you that are new to us and joining us for the first time online, I'm so happy that you're here, and I hope in the near future we can meet in person at the studio when everything opens back up. For those of you that have asked about donations, if you are wanting to give donations, we truly appreciate that. If you can't, that's okay. Please keep watching the videos. We're here to support you. The donations can be made to the Seva project. There is a link in this video, and it does have its own page on Facebook. So the donations right now that are going to the Seva project are 100% supporting the teachers, and all of us are running on donations right now. So just so you guys know that. All right, so we're going to start seated, and I recommend sitting elevated on a folded blanket or towel. And you don't have to sit cross-legged if that's not available to you. You can always sit with your legs out in front of you. If that doesn't feel right, you can put your feet to the floor and have the knees bent and sit tall. Just see what's best for your body. If you are choosing to sit cross-legged and you're finding that your knees are a lot higher than your hips, then you'll want to elevate yourself on another blanket or some type of support. So take a moment. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes or soften the gaze. Take a deep breath in. Side out. Deep breath in. Let it go. Taking these first few moments of class to switch gears. So allowing ourselves to bring our full attention into the space that we're in. If there's any distractions, doing your best to allow them to fall to the background. Becoming aware of your body, feeling the sitting bones energetically rooted deep into the earth, the spine elongated, the top of the head aligned over the pelvic floor, and then reaching up towards the sky. And as you hold this posture, soften the skin. And acknowledge yourself here, that you showed up for your practice, your self-care. And even if you're just sitting and breathing today, that's okay. Be conscious of the breath. Your best is always enough. Take a moment to acknowledge your fellow yogis, your Anahata community, your family, your friends, other communities that you're a part of, and humanity. Feel that connection. Know that you're not alone. And now refocus on your breath. And deepen the breath, breathing through the nose if you can, allowing every inhale to build from the base up and release from the top down. The inhale gently expands the belly, the ribs, the chest. The exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. So the way that we breathe can truly help us to self-regulate. It can help us through challenges, difficulties, supports us with experiencing emotion. Steady your breath. And bring the hands together at heart center. We'll begin with 3 rounds of Om. You can join, you can hum, or you can just listen. Let's first inhale together. Let it go. And inhale. Releasing the hands to the lap, keeping the eyes closed if you can. If you're sitting cross-legged, change the cross of your legs, otherwise remain as you are. We'll be here for about another minute. And see if you can explore internally what the word challenge means to you. How do you feel it in your body? What comes up? Challenge. And observe yourself without judgment, control, or expectation. Just check in. What does that word mean for you? How does it resonate? And notice if anything changed in your breathing pattern. If it did, re-steady your breath. And today we'll be focusing on holding some of the poses for longer, allowing ourselves to come up against our safe edges, those challenges, and see if you can keep your breath steady. If at any point anything doesn't feel good, please readjust. Don't push yourself past any safety stops. Let's all take a deep breath in, side out, and slowly transition to table, all fours. So onto your hands and knees. If needed, you can open up your blanket or your towel for underneath the knees for a little additional support, a little extra cushion, and then place your wrists underneath the shoulders, the fingers wide, knees underneath the hips. Thigh bones create kind of a number 11, tops of the feet to the floor. A few rounds of cat-cows, flexion and extension of the spine. Start with the tailbone. Inhale, tailbone scoops up, belly drops, heart gaze lifts. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, belly drops, heart gaze lifts, cow. Exhale, round the spine. Few more. Return the spine to neutral. Tuck the toes under. Inhale again into cow. Exhale, round the spine through cat and press your hips to heels. Hang out here and breathe. Feel the sensations in the feet, the stretching in the feet, the toes. Keep breathing. The legs remain parallel. Inhale, come up into cow. Exhale again through cat and press back. Keep pressing back, keep breathing. Once more, inhale, come forward, cow. Exhale, round and press back. Hold the pose, keep breathing. Inhale, come up, neutral spine, release the breath, and take child's pose. Big toes touch, knees go wide. You'll notice here with the support I have underneath my knees, I've allowed the tops of my ankles to be draped over the back end of this towel, and that just helps to support the ankles a little bit more. It's just an option. And then once you've sat down on the heels, if you notice that your knees don't feel good here and you need a little extra support for the knee joints, you can place a folded blanket or towel behind the knees or between your hips and your heels. Once you've done that, and if you needed to, then you'll come down, forehead either to the floor. You can stack your hands or fists. If you have your yoga block, you can use a block here or maybe a folded towel. So just make sure your head is supported. Once you're in your shape, relax the body. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. And then continue to breathe now through your nose. And see if you can feel the breath expand into the back body. Two to three more breaths. And when you feel ready, press yourself up to table. Let the breath go. Then moving into tiger pose, opposites and balancing. Do only what feels right for you. Tuck the toes under. Extend the right leg straight out behind you. Level the hips to the floor. Pause here. Just take a moment to feel. Now if you want to go further, float the left arm off the floor. The palm faces midline. If this is enough, stay. Otherwise, lift the right leg off the floor. Toes point down. Keep breathing. Right, so we're starting to come up against more challenge. Can you keep breathing? Shaking is normal. 2 more breaths. And with your exhale, slowly release and then come into table and other side. Extend the left leg, level the hips, pause and feel. If you want to go further, float the right arm off the floor, palm faces midline. Maybe the left leg floats off the floor. Breathe. Smile if you're not sure if you're keeping the face relaxed. Another breath. And with this exhale, slowly release table and return to child's pose. This time when you come down, once your forehead is supported, you can come up on the fingertips with the hands. Palms are elevated, fingertips on the floor. Imagine there's a tennis ball underneath the palms and the forehead stays down. Elbows, underarms are lifted. Hold this pose if you can and let the breath come and go through the nose. About 2 more breaths. And slowly release the palms. Bring yourselves up to table. Let the breath go. And then tuck the toes under and bring the legs in a little bit closer than hip width. If this is enough for your feet, your knees stay here. Otherwise, slowly sitting back into the yin variation of a toe squat, sitting back on the heels. If this is too much on the knees, you can also come up into a high kneel instead. So once you've come into your pose, elongate the spine and breathe. Again, recognizing the sensations that we're feeling in the feet, in the body. Maybe coming up against our edges of challenge. Can you breathe? Steady breath. 2 more. Full breath in. Full breath out. 1 more. Nicely done. Slowly come forward, table. Untuck the toes. Let the tops of the feet rest to the floor. Bring the legs in closer than hip width if they weren't already. If they touch at midline, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine. Widen the hands, setting up for a hip release. Draw the navel in toward the spine. Hug the shoulder blades together as you relax the heart down. And then your gaze is about 1 foot in front of the hands on center. Neck is holding the head. Inhale here. Exhale, let the hips dip towards the right. Inhale, come through center and then to the left. So do this a few more times side to side. It's not about touching the ground here with the hips. We actually want to keep the knees and the hands glued to the floor. So you'll feel a rocking across the knees, but they're not coming off the ground. Elbows can bend if needed. And about 1 more to each side. When that feels complete, return to center. You can take the child's pose that we've already been doing, or you can keep the legs together, sit back on the heels, forehead to the floor, to some type of support, arms by your sides, palms up. Deep breathing. Either the 2 child's pose variations are fine. About 2 more breaths. And then slowly bring yourself up to table. Let the breath go as you readjust. And now working towards lunge, tuck the toes under and step the right leg through between the hands. You can come up on the fingertips as we did earlier. Hands are in line with the front foot. Back toes are tucked under. Stay here or lift the back knee off the floor. Press out through the back heel. Square the hips forward, right in the direction that you're facing. Level the hips. Pause here, hold. Right? So we're feeling that challenge of the muscles engaging. We might be feeling a stretch in the back leg. See what else you're experiencing in the body. If there's pain, then your body's telling you something needs to be readjusted. Another breath. And now we make it dynamic. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten the front leg and maybe fold. Inhale, bend the front knee, heart gaze forward. Exhale, fold. 2 more. Rebend the front knee. And now this time, straighten the front leg, lift the toes, the ball of the foot off the floor, pull back on the right heel, feeling that energy go all the way up the right leg, Hips are leveled, reach the heart to the horizon, stay here, or maybe fold, still reaching the right toes towards their knee. Another breath. And then slowly rebend the front knee, coming into low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Allow the back knee to come down to the floor, and you're resting above the kneecap. Now you can stay here, or maybe walk the hands up to the top of the front thigh. So you want to feel the engagement of your legs, hugging in towards each other as if you're trying to close scissors, keeping that engagement, simultaneously allowing the pelvis to dip down. So once you come up against your safe edge, hold there, right? We're working with our challenges here, coming up against our safe edges. And now catch your breath. Keep the heart elevated, lengthen the spine. 3 more breaths. Can we find the calm in the storm? 1 more breath. And then slowly release the hands to the floor. Return to table. And then extend the right leg straight behind you. Level the hips, 3 pushbacks. Inhale here. Exhale, press the mat away from you. Stretch into the extended leg. Keep the hips leveled. Inhale, shoulders return over the wrist. Exhale, push back. Once more. Return to table, and now we switch sides. Left leg comes through. Prop up on your fingertips, hands in line with the front foot, the front ankle. Check in with your hips, and if and when you're ready, back toes tuck under, back knee floats off the ground, press out through the back heel, lengthen the spine, and then hold the shape and breathe. And now we make it dynamic. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten the front leg and maybe fold. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, fold. 2 more. Now notice what's happening in your mind, that you know we're coming up against a deeper stretch in the front leg. We know that a challenge is coming. Check in with your breath. And now for this 5th time, we straighten the front leg, lift the toes, the ball of the foot off the ground, drag back on the left heel, square the hips, level the hips, reach the heart forward and maybe fold. Hold the pose if you can and breathe. Shaking is okay. You might not be able to see it, but I'm shaking here too. Another breath. Slowly rebend the front knee and then lower the back knee to the floor above the kneecap. You can stay here, building low lunge. Maybe the hands come up to the top of the front thigh. Muscles of the legs are engaged. The back knee is dragging forward. The front heel is dragging back. And then keeping that as you allow the pelvis to sink forward. Lift the heart. Steady the breath. One side might feel different than the other. That's completely normal. 2 more breaths. Smile at yourself if you need to. And slowly release. Come into table. And then immediately extend the left leg straight behind you for leg pushbacks. Level the hips and take 3. With your exhale, you push the mat away. Hips remain leveled. Inhale, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, push back. 1 more. Return to table. And then bring the knees in a little bit closer than hip width apart. You might want to widen the hands. It's up to you. And then draw a few hip circles. Let the hips go around the knees. The size of the circles are up to you and your body. And reverse direction. Return to table. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Building side angle, tuck the toes under. Step the right leg through between the hands. Float the back knee off the floor and take a moment here, breathe. and then look at your back heel. Drop it in and down so the outer edge of your left foot is parallel to the short end of the mat. You have heel to back arch alignment. Then you can bring your right hand to the inside of the right leg as you bring your left hand to the left hip. You can also bump your right forearm to the right thigh. Scoop your right sitting bone under. Keep the front knee pointing forward and over its ankle. Keep pressing down through the back foot on the outer edge. Stack the shoulders. Hips are open in the direction that the heart is facing. Bottom hand, your right hand is energized. Maybe the left arm to the sky. So we know today we're focusing on holding the poses a little bit longer, breathing deeper, and exploring our safe edges. How do we show up for ourselves and challenge? 3 more breaths. I'm here with you. We're all in this together. 2 more breaths. And with your exhale, slowly release to lunge. Straighten the front leg. Reach the heart forward to the horizon and maybe fold. Rebend the front knee. Taking a lunge twist, right hand can go to the hip as you begin to open the heart towards the right side, maybe the right arm to the sky. Keep pressing out through the back heel. Hips are leveled. 2 more breaths. With your exhale, release. Back knee touches down. Come into table. Extend the right leg immediately behind you. Take a push back. Keep pushing the mat away from you and take another breath here. Return to table, and now we do the other side. Left leg comes through, building side angle. Back toes tuck under, float the back knee off the floor, and let the foot drop in and down. Front heel to back arch alignment. Front knees pointing forward. You can bring your left hand to the inside as you bring your right hand to the right hip. Maybe coming up to the thigh with the left forearm. Check in with the left hip. Letting the front knee point forward in the direction with the toes. Stacking the shoulders, maybe the right arm to the sky. So once you've come into your expression of the shape, hold that posture if you can safely and reconnect to your breath. Both hands energized all the way out through the fingertips. Keep pressing down through the outer edge of the right foot. 2 more breaths. With your exhale, slowly release to lunge. Straighten the front leg, lengthen the spine, maybe fold. Rebend the front knee. Left hand to the left hip as you begin to twist open in your lunge. And maybe the left arm to the sky. Keep pressing out through the back heel. 1 more breath. And release. Back knee touches down. Come through table and immediately bring the left leg straight behind you. Level the hips. Push back. Push the mat away from you. Hold this. Another breath. And then return to table and child's pose. Beautifully done, guys. You can bring the palms together, elbows to the floor, and rest the hands at the base of the skull. Three more breaths here. When you feel ready, release the hands to the floor. Bring yourself up to table. And then from here, we're coming down onto our bellies. You can take the support, if you had it, from underneath the knees. And you can actually fold it up depending on the shape of your towel or blanket and place it at the back end of your mat, draping your tops of your feet over that. Bring yourself down onto your belly. You can stack your forearms or your hands, resting your forehead on center. And then rock the hips side to side. Take a moment to release the low back. Check in with the quality of your breath. And this is already a gentle back bend. If this is enough for you, you can stay here. Otherwise, building baby cobra, forehead to the floor. Hands go in line with the chest, palms down, elbows hug in towards the spine, and then they point back behind you, feeling the shoulder blades hug towards each other and down the back. Press the tops of the feet into the floor, simultaneously reach out through the tips of the toes. Inhale, lifting the heart and the gaze. Keep the legs engaged, keep pressing down through the hands, and then do the action with the hands of trying to pull yourself forward. So we're here for a few extra cycles of breath. Stay here if that's safe for you. Feeling that challenge in our body. You might feel it in your mind. Another breath. Beautifully done. Slowly release. Arms can release by your sides, palms up. You can rest onto one of your ears. If needed, you can again stack your forearms or your hands rest on center with the forehead. Check in with your breath. And once more, hands in line with the chest, forehead to the floor to start. Engage the arms, the legs, and when you're ready, lift and lengthen. If you want to go a little further, float the legs off the floor. Keep reaching out through the toes. Keep the work that you're doing with the arms, the shoulders, and see if you can float just the hands off the floor. Just about an inch or so. Keep hugging the elbows in, pointing them back. Lift the legs, the heart a little more if you'd like to go a little further. 2 more breaths. And with your exhale, slowly release onto your left ear, arms by your sides, let go, or forehead to center. Deep breathing. One more breath. And press the hands into the ground. Inhale up through table and immediately into child's pose. If you want a little bit more strength building here, come up again on the fingertips, elevating the palms, the elbows. Arms are extended out in front of you, forehead to some type of support. A few more moments here. See if you can feel the muscles in the low back relax. And press the hands into the floor when you feel ready. Bring yourself up to table and then come onto your seat. So I recommend sitting elevated on some type of support here. We're going to open our legs out wide. And now if you're choosing to sit up high on something, you'll want to also have support underneath the knees to prevent hyperextension. And then for those of you that are feeling like your low back is talking, if you need some extra support for your hamstrings, you'll want to place those towels as well underneath the knees. So back of the heels to the floor, using your hands to help move the glutes, the muscles of your buttocks out from underneath you so you can root down through the sitting bones, sitting tall. Hands can rest on the thighs, by your sides, or behind you. Point and flex the feet a few times, keeping the back of the heels connected to the ground. And toes point upright. Now, if this is enough for you, stay here. Otherwise, we're going to do a fold over the right leg. I'm mirroring you. Begin to twist your upper body first. So low back twist across the front, ribs twist, heart aligns to the best of your ability towards the shin of the right leg, and then walk the hands towards the foot. Try to keep the hands about shoulder width apart. Keep the opposite hip glued down. And remember, today we hold for a little bit longer. Find the steadiness through the breath. Aware of the sensations in the body of stretching. You might be able to feel your heartbeat. So these are all anchor points that can help us to find the steadiness and challenge, the calm in the storm. 2 more breaths. And slowly walk yourself upright, come through center, and then twist towards the other leg, and then begin to fold over that leg. Coming to your safety stop, and deep breathing. Notice if you feel anything different from one side to the other. Just be curious, observe. There's no right or wrong here with what you're observing. A few more moments here. See if you can observe what happens in your mind when you come up against challenge or having to stay put a little bit longer. When you're ready, walk yourself upright, unwind to center, release the breath, and then folding forward, let the pelvis tilt forward so your weight is on the front end of the sitting bones, walking the hands forward as far as comfortable. Lengthen the spine, hug the shoulder blades towards the spine. Deep breath in, and let it go. And we hang out here for about a minute. Anytime the mind wanders, refocus on the breath. Stay focused on the breath. Few more cycles. Relax the jaw. Relax any unnecessary gripping and tightness. How do you show up for yourself in challenge? It might be different from one challenge to another. How can your quality of breath support you? Another moment here. And slowly press yourself up, release the breath. And hands go underneath the knees to help bend the knees, feet to the floor, wider than hips. Setting up for our one-legged windshield wipers. You can lean back on the hands. Hands can go behind you, heart lifts. Drop the right knee, and I'm mirroring you, towards the left ankle. It's not about touching the floor. Inhale, come up, and then drop the opposite leg. So if you're sitting up high, you're really not trying to touch the floor because you don't want to strain the hip and the back. So just be cautious here of your own safe edges. If you're on the floor, and depending on where you're at with your flexibility, you might have the knee be able to touch down. Let this movement be fluid. Once more on each side. When that feels even, knees return pointing upright. Bring the feet in towards each other until the soles of the feet can touch. Let the knees drop open, supporting the outer edges of the legs. I highly recommend this. Hands go to the base of the knees to start. Sit tall. Align the top of the head over the pelvic floor. Let your hands go down to the shins or to the ankles. Heels come in as close towards the body as available to you. Let the heart float up towards the sky so you feel this energetic lift of buoyancy at heart center. Let the knees fall away from each other. You can stay here or you can hinge at the hips. There's a slight tilt in the pelvis. Lead forward with the base of the breastbone. Maybe the hands come to the floor or they can stay at the feet. And let the breath come and go. So if you find at any given time it difficult to focus on your breath, you can internally repeat to yourself the word inhale with the inhalation and exhale when you exhale. Another moment here. And bring yourself upright. Draw the knees together as if closing a book, feet flat to the floor, and then extend the legs straight out in front of you. I'm going to spin here so you can still see me. Legs extend out. You can put support under the knees and then bounce the knees. You can lean back on the hands. Point and flex the feet. Wiggle the toes and rock the legs side to side. Sit tall again. Walk your right hip back and then your left hip so you feel evenly weighted across both sitting bones. And if it's available to you, hands go in line with the hips, palms down, fingertips forward, or the hands go behind you. Do your best to align the top of the head over the pelvic floor. And coming into a place where you can hold the body in stillness, feeling the healthy challenge here in this pose, and letting the breath come and go. If you want to go a little bit further, hinging at the hips, tilting the pelvis slightly forward, and coming into a seated forward fold. Have the shoulder blades hugged together. Really important here, you're leading forward with the base of the breastbone, allowing the spine to remain elongated and not rounding from the mid-back. This can really strain the spine, a challenge we don't want. And then come forward. Easy breathing. Another moment here. And slowly walk yourself upright, release the breath, bounce the knees. And then you can move the support off to the side. Just keep it within reach in case you decide you need it later. Coming down to our backs, you have two ways to come down. You can use your hands, bring yourself down, or you can have your knees bent, feet to the floor, toes point forward in the direction that you're facing. And then you can bring the arms up, hug the shoulder blades together, palms facing each other, and then one vertebra at a time, very slowly rounding the spine here, drawing the navel toward the spine to bring yourself all the way down. Once you've come down, if you need to, adjust some support underneath the head. Try not to lift the head too much at an angle. This can strain the neck. We want to have the ears as close as we can to the center of the shoulders, or in line with the center of the shoulders, and then feet to the floor or hug the knees into the chest. Rock the body side to side. Return to center. Squeeze the knees in further towards or closer towards the chest. Float the forehead up to meet the knees. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And then slowly release the head. Full body stretch. Interlace your fingers. Roll the palms open away from the head. Point and flex the feet, a sigh or yawn. And then relax the legs. Arms by your sides. Bend the knees. Windshield wipers. Arms can be by your sides, palms up, letter T or cactus. In all those variations, the back of the hands are touching the floor. And then sway the knees, now both of them together, side to side. So think of windshield wipers on a car. And when that feels complete for you, check in with yourself if there's any other stretches or movements that you feel you need. Otherwise, you can slowly make your way into Shavasana, our final shape for this class. It's a restorative shape that's typically found at the end of every yoga class. You can place support underneath the knees. You might choose to use your eye pillow. You can cover up in a blanket, or maybe just putting a little extra weight across the hips. Let your heels rest about 6 to 12 inches apart. Let them flop open away from each other. This naturally happens as you release the effort of the muscles of the body and the legs. We want to be able to let go here. Relax the arms. And as you relax the muscles of the hands, you'll feel the fingertips naturally will curl in. Relax the face. Deep breath in. Exhale, body goes heavy. Another deep breath in. Exhale, side out. Release any effort with your breath. And let the breath here move on its own. Enjoy your rest. Awareness returns to the breath. And to the body. Keeping the eyes closed, bring back gentle movements, wiggling toes and fingers, rocking the head side to side. Point and flex the feet. Open and close the hands a few times as if you're squeezing sponges, maybe a full body stretch. You can hug the knees into the chest and rock side to side, or place the feet to the floor, windshield wiper side to side. When you feel ready, turn over onto your comfortable side in the fetal position. Take care to support your head and pause here. Deepen the breath. Try to keep the eyes closed if you can. When you feel ready, still with the eyes closed, press yourself up to a comfortable seat. And take a moment to revisit our intention today, how we show up with ourselves in challenge. What are we doing with our breath when we come up against something difficult? Keep your awareness on the breath. Reset to a healthy quality of breathing at any time and as many times as you need to. Bring the hands together at the heart. And with gratitude and from the calm in the storm, that place of quiet inside, we'll close with a single sound of Om. Receive your breath. Bowing head to heart in honor of each other, ourselves, and this practice. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. Be safe, stay healthy. Namaste. I'll hang out here for a little bit longer. If there's anyone who has any questions, comments, anything they'd like to share in the live group chat, please do, but take your time. I'll hang out for about 2 more minutes. And you can also always reach me at Veda Spidal on Facebook privately if you'd like to contact me that way instead. And again, I'm hanging out here a little bit longer. If there's anyone that wants to chat in the live group chat, I'm here watching the screen. Move slowly, take your time. It's good to practice with you guys today. Oh, you're so welcome, Donna and Veronica. Such a pleasure. I love knowing that you all are here practicing with me. It's that feeling of community and connection. And for those of you that end up watching this off live stream, that connection's still there. Oh, this is really a great alternative. So a few more moments here and I'll be going off live stream. So if there's anything else you'd like to share, please do. Otherwise, you can always contact me directly Veda Spital. You can find me on Facebook. So much love to you all. Stay healthy, stay safe, and can't wait to see you all again in person at our beloved Anahata Yoga and Sound and Healing Studio. But until then, I look forward to seeing you guys online, and I will be teaching now Thursdays as well, 12 to 1, and that will be restorative, nidra, and sound healing. So hopefully see you again. If not, maybe next Tuesday. So much love to you all. Bye. Have a good day.